Alright, what's up everybody? It's Reclaimer, and today I've got a very special tips video for you guys, one that I've been asked about numerous times in comments and in tweets and on live streams. How to become a competitive player, and this is not specific to Halo, but I will be relating most of my experiences back to Halo. So this really can be, like, this advice that I'm about to give you can really be used for any esport, and I say any esport kind of relatively. I'm gonna say for sure console esports. I'm not sure about esports like Counter-Strike or like League or anything like that. I'm not sure because obviously I haven't experienced those scenes, and I think my game froze. Anyway, yeah, I'm not going to talk about those too much because obviously I don't know too much about them, but it works pretty similarly in console esports. So like Halo, Call of Duty, Madden, or not Madden. What am I talking about? There's a Madden scene, but I'm not really sure how it works there. Gears of War, stuff like that. So I've played at an amateur level for a few years, Call of Duty and Halo. I've been to plenty of events. I've competed at one, and I've met a lot of people, and I've beat some pretty notable people, and I've had conversations with some pretty notable people and stuff like that. So I feel like I'm pretty qualified to talk about this. So I'm just gonna give you guys sort of the rundown. This is gonna be sort of basic, sort of unscripted. This is sort of how this will be sort of a story about how I got into the scene, and also some tips for you guys as to what you can do to sort of break out into whatever scene it is that you're trying to break out in. Because I feel like I said, I feel like I've done it pretty successfully thus far, and I've done it across 2 games at this point. So like I said, unscripted. I'm playing live, so we're just gonna be talking about it. But before I talk about anything, I just want to say apologies for the lack of videos over the past couple days. I've really it wasn't because of lack of motivation or like laziness or anything. I've been sort of under the weather, and not feeling all that great the past couple days. But I know I only went like 2 or 3 days without posting a video, but I'm back better than ever, and I got a special surprise coming for you in the next couple days also. So things are about to get lit coming up on 1K. So everybody get excited because the future of this channel is about to be lit. But today we're here to talk about becoming a competitive player, and so that's what we're going to talk about. So basically, first I played Call of Duty for a couple years before I got into Halo. Holy bad shots! But a lot of people don't know this. I started out on Halo, playing Halo as a little kid, and I always played and loved Halo. I played the campaigns, and I was kind of a noob for a while. But eventually, I became because by the time I started getting into competitive and stuff, Halo was pretty underground. It was in between Reach and Halo 4, and obviously the viewership took a major dip. There weren't any events for a few months, and then this was before Halo 4 stuff started happening, and even then it was fairly underground. So I became a competitive Call of Duty player. And I was that for a couple years before I became a competitive Halo player. But basically, the first thing that you gotta do is that you gotta grind. You have to play a lot, and a lot of these they're not gonna be reused tips from the upping your personal skill video, but a lot of them are fairly similar, just with different stuff for competing, obviously. So you gotta play a lot, and sacrifices are gonna have to be made. It's even more so in my case because I'm a content creator, but you're gonna have to sacrifice a ton of time. Whether that be if you trying to play a sport, and doing this is very difficult. I know a lot of people do that, but trying to play a sport is very difficult. Obviously, being in school and trying to do this is very difficult because this is very time consuming. You have to play a lot if you want to get good, if you want to get to the point where you can play against good people and win consistently. And you know, there's just a lot of time and effort goes into it. So you have to be very committed, you have to be very dedicated, and you have to play a lot. So if you think that you have the time, if you think that you're willing to put forth the time and the effort, then these next couple things are going to be for you. But that comes first, obviously, above all else. Obviously, it's different for me because I'm also doing YouTube and streaming and stuff like that. But that's a whole nother video that we'll have to talk about. But so after time, you wanna be able to be able to analyze. You want to be able to look at your gameplay, and you want to be able to look at other people's gameplay and determine what other people are doing better than you and what your strengths are, and also, you know, you have to be able to take criticism because you are going to play with a lot of different people, and you are going to get advice from a lot of different people, and some other people might not agree with you and things that you do. So you have to be able to take criticism, because definitely that can be one of the biggest things that helps, and it's one of the things that helped me. But in order for you to actually get in touch with people that you will play with and take criticism from and play against, I would suggest going to Twitter, because that's basically where everything happens in terms of conversations between players and meeting people. There are certain accounts that will like retweet tweets all the time, so like it's become fairly easy now to find players, even though it is a little bit oversaturated and there are a lot of people doing it. Make a Twitter account. Just say that you're interested in becoming a competitive Halo player, and there will be retweeted tweets for people looking for 8s or people looking for teammates to run games for a certain event or whatever. So basically just play a lot, interact with people, and you gotta put yourself out there. You can't be like shy about it. You gotta join whenever somebody sends out an invite for 8s. You gotta try to set stuff up yourself. You just gotta put yourself out there, make yourself available. Obviously, not being a dick is part of it. You don't want to be unreachable, if that makes any sense, and you don't want to be unapproachable. So you have to be very, very humble. Having an ego, which is a big topic of discussion in especially amateur esports nowadays, is just about the worst thing that you can do, because that really limits your options in terms of being a player. So you really want to be approachable. You want to take criticism from other people. You don't want to have an ego. Obviously, there is a difference between knowing where you stand and having an ego. So I can understand that I am, for instance, like a mid-tier amateur player, and I don't want to put labels on it too much, but you can understand where you stand, and so if a platinum player asks you to play, then you might not, then that might be like a different option. But I'm saying, if somebody, just because somebody has less followers than you, or somebody hasn't reached a certain rank in matchmaking, which I kind of contradicted myself, but if somebody hasn't reached a certain rank, or has a certain amount of play time, or their stats aren't as good, or they don't have as many followers, don't let that stop you from playing with that person, because they might be really good. And people nowadays don't really get a whole lot of chances from people, because this is kind of a big deal in amateur esports. But yeah, so being approachable and putting yourself out there, like I said, you can't be shy. Well, we're not gonna talk about that voice crack, but yeah, that's a really big part of it. Just being able to interact with people on Twitter, and I'd say Twitter is pretty much mandatory now. You have to have a Twitter account in order to do this, especially on the level that you're trying to do this, if you're trying to be a competitive player. So make a Twitter account, be approachable, put yourself out there, and obviously this all goes back to the putting the time in thing. You can't suck, and I want to say that nicely, because you have to put the time in, and you have to have the experience. Or not experience, that's probably the wrong word, but you have to actually be decent at the game before anybody gives you a shot, you know? So put in the time, take criticism from people, watch tips videos. I'm not saying watch more of my videos, but watch tips videos, watch pro streams, watch scrims. A big part, and a big part of it that I want to talk about is a big part of it is mental, is knowledge. It's not all your shot and your individual skill, but a lot of it, and I'd say even like the majority of it, is your intelligence. That is so important to being a competitive Halo player in this instance, and I'm sure it applies to other esports, like I said. because you have to know a lot of stuff. Like, you see me talk about this in my arena tips videos. Just knowing like spawn influence and how long it takes to kill with certain weapons. Yeah, spawn influence, like rotations, strategies for different game types, all that kind of stuff is super important. So knowledge is probably at the top of the list when it comes to stuff like this. So you really want to analyze other people's gameplay as well as your own. See, like, while this is something that I talked about in my upping your personal skill video, which was analyze your own gameplay and look at the things you're doing. But that I feel like that was more based on individual skill. In this instance, I want to tell you guys to analyze your own gameplay and look at where you are most of the time. Like, pay attention to where your teammates are, pay attention to where you are and where the enemies are spawning. For instance, if you push, I feel like I'm gonna make a video on this at some point because a lot of people have asked for it. But spawn influence. So let's talk about Coliseum, for instance, because it's the map we're playing on right now. If you are playing a Capture the Flag, we'll just pretend this is Capture the Flag. If you're playing Capture the Flag, the basic strat that you want to do when you are going to pull the enemy's flag is you want to, I'm trying to give a demonstration here, come on. But you want to all push, you want to get control, obviously you want to have some power weapons, but the basic push is to push in from snipe side, block the cave, which means have somebody standing in or around the cave, and pull the flag snipe side while shooting over the elbow, because if you block the snipe side, they're going to spawn on your elbow, right? If you block the cave and the elbow, they might spawn under the base. But there's 4 basic spawns when you're talking about Coliseum, which are the cave, the elbow, back flag, and also under the base. So there's 4 different places that are like the main spawns. So just knowing things like that helps your game so tremendously, and not knowing those is like the difference between being a player and not getting a shot from somebody. Like, if you were to play with an experienced team, if you were to get a shot and mess up on something like that, which is considered like pretty much routine by most people, then that would pretty much like reduce your chances of playing with that team. So knowledge, being able to grind. So a lot of this comes down to time, effort, being humble, being able to take criticism, just putting in the time, putting in the effort, making yourself approachable, not sucking. So watching pro streams, scrims, tip videos, all that kind of stuff can seriously help you. And then obviously the next part of that is play a lot, find a team, which is part of, you know, being on Twitter and being approachable. Once you find a group of people that you like, that you play well with, you know, play matchmaking, scrim other teams. Like I said, those retweet accounts are particularly helpful because you can tweet out asking for a scrim and they'll retweet it, and normally somebody will see it. Like, more often than not, if you tweet out looking for a scrim at this time and then use like one of those retweet accounts and it gets retweeted, more often than not, somebody's gonna reply with an answer looking for a scrim for their team as well. So scrim other teams. I'm not going to go too in depth on the organization talk today because, as you guys may or may not be aware, we haven't had some great experiences with organizations in the past. Me specifically, but we're not going to have the organization talk. This is specifically for like finding a team and all that. So like I said, once you find a group of people that you like, scrim other teams, play a lot of matchmaking, just play together a lot. I don't think having like set strategies for specific events really works anymore. I think it's pretty much all situational. So don't try to come up with strategies for like if this thing happens, then everybody needs to go to this side of the map or anything like that. I think it's all situational. I think the main part of it comes down to like knowledge and stuff, but play a lot. And then the next step is going to events, because going to events is the best way to get your name out there as a competitor. Obviously, going to an event and getting first rounded might not be the best thing for you reputation-wise, but going to events playing well, just being there in general, meeting people will help you so much along the way. On top of the fact that it's a really good experience and that it's a lot of fun and it's really cool to see all these people that you've watched for years and years. Yeah, so that's kind of a basic rundown of becoming a competitive player. There are a lot more specifics that I could go into. So if you guys have any questions, I will be responding to pretty much every single comment on this video. So definitely, if you have any questions, leave me a comment, tweet me. The link is in the description of my Twitter. So go follow me on there. So basically, to recap, you want to have a Twitter account. You want to be humble. You want to be approachable. Watch other people, take criticism, analyze your own gameplay. Find other people that are like you. You know, just basically grind a lot, put in the time, put in the effort, and eventually things will start to click. And now, one thing I will say is that none of this happens overnight. You don't become a competitive Halo player in the blink of an eye. You cannot say one day, I think I want to be a competitive Halo player, and then the next day be on a team and be scrimming and going to events. It just doesn't work like that. It definitely takes time to materialize. So I was a decent player for a long time, but never got a shot from anybody because that's just not how it works for a while. So definitely be patient with it. Keep doing your thing. Don't be discouraged by the lack of results, because I'm telling you, it definitely does come, and when it comes, it's very rewarding. Because you do get to have some great experiences, you get to meet a lot of people, and it's just generally a really fun thing, and also just the competition, all that stuff is just a great experience, and it's a great community to be a part of. There are some bad apples, and there are some things that make it not so desirable, but all in all, it's a very good experience. It's a very good thing to be a part of, and obviously gives you a little more something to do than just sitting at home playing video games when you could be out doing other stuff. So can I hit the triple? No, I can't. All right, well, so yeah, I hope this helped. Like I said, any questions at all, tweet me. Link in the description of my Twitter. Like I said, tweet me, leave a comment on this video. I'll be responding to pretty much every single comment that is left on this video. I'd be happy to answer some more questions, and if there are any more specifics that you want to go into that I can't really answer in a comment or a tweet, definitely let me know about those, and I'll be sure to make videos on them. Like spawn influence is something that I definitely said I'll be looking into making some videos on. So but thank you guys for watching this video. I hope it helped. Like I said, I hope that you guys have a little bit more of an understanding as to how to sort of break into the competitive side of gaming, and maybe Halo in specific for this instance. So like I said, thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Likes are appreciated. Subscribe if you're new, and I will see you guys tomorrow with a video that I think you're all going to enjoy. So see you guys later.